Is moving closer to signing a new controversial congressional map into law. Earlier, the Senate Districting Committee approved a revised bill, while other states are taking similar steps. Florida is the latest to jump into the mix. The governor is asking for the Federal Census Bureau to give the state one more seat based on population changes. NTD's Melina Weiskup has the report.
Texas state senators are teed up for a vote later this evening to approve a new congressional map, one that was approved by the House just yesterday. It's the last step before the governor signs it into law. With this new Texas map, it endangers 5 sitting congressional Democrats, meaning that during the midterms, it will make it easier for Republicans to win those 5 seats. Here's how the state Democrats were responding after last night's vote.
That our best shot is in the courts. This part of the fight is over, but it is merely the first chapter.
Trump responded to the news last evening, posting, "On our way to 5 more congressional seats and saving your rights, your freedoms, and your country itself. Texas never lets us down. Florida, Indiana, and others are looking to do the same." The president is also calling for the states to stop mail-in voting, describing it as a total fraud that has no bounds. The redrawn districts are controversial and have sparked national debate. Democratic governors of New York and California, Kathy Hochul and Gavin Newsom, offered a brief warning to Texas after they passed the map last evening, writing comments like "it's on" and "game on, Texas." California is working in parallel to Texas. They're expected to vote on their new map that favors Democrats later today, and the governor is expected to sign it shortly afterward. California Democrats say that Texas forced their hand, while Republicans have filed a lawsuit.
None of us want to be in this situation, but our hand is being forced, and we will not unilaterally disarm. That is why we are here, and we are doing this in the most transparent way possible.
I think we're going to defeat this. Unfortunately, we had this lawsuit that we lost today. We're going to continue to fight this here in the legislature, at the ballot box, and continue to tell other states, do the right thing, uphold democracy.
And now we see Florida getting involved. Governor DeSantis says that their population in the state was undercounted in the 2020 census.
Maybe get a tweak to the census, Supreme Court rule on racial gerrymandering, and then just accounting for the reality that Florida has had a big population shift.
He's asking the Federal Census Bureau to reallocate seats based on new data. He's hoping to secure at least one more seat for Florida, but 1 seat gained in the red state of Florida is 1 seat lost from another state. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Melina Weiskup, NTD News.
Joining us now to discuss Texas House passing the GOP redistricting map is Nathan Worcester, national political reporter with Epoch Times. Good to see you, Nathan, and good afternoon. So first of all, can you give us the latest on this and which parts of Texas are most affected by these new maps?
Well, the latest is that a state Senate panel just advanced the measure, which sets up a vote later tonight. Should be at 9 p.m. Eastern or so, when the Texas State Senate is able to fully, in all likelihood, pass this new set of maps, and then it would go to Governor Greg Abbott for signature.
So how are Democrats responding? What happens next? Are Democrats bringing legal challenges?
Well, the big story was, of course, a number of Democrats going AWOL in past weeks to avoid having to vote on this. They did return, and they did so under police escort. So you actually had a member of the Texas legislature, Nicole Collier, a Democrat, who, as an act of protest, slept on the House floor. And she has already begun the process of suing over those police escorts. So far, we're also seeing moves from a group that includes the Democrats' nonprofit arm challenging redistricting, plus some other advocacy groups preparing to advance legal challenges. So the short answer is yes, this is teeing up a series of litigatory battles, as one might expect with pretty much anything involving redistricting, especially mid-decade redistricting.
Nathan, how big of a deal is this for Republicans or Democrats in Texas? And what about the change in the balance of power in Congress?
Well, I think it's important to put this in context. We're coming up on a midterm election, and for the party in power, which in this case would be the Republicans, there's always a fear of the changeover, at least in one chamber. In this case, the Republicans are looking at a pretty strong map in the Senate. They could even grow their power, but that very narrow majority, that is something they could be poised to lose. So we see Texas setting up what could be 5 seats. In parallel to that, we're seeing California now at the point where the legislature is poised to vote on their map, which might flip 5 seats as well. President Barack Obama has endorsed this move. In California, we can speak about this more. It's a little more complicated because it would ultimately have to be approved through a citizen referendum in November. But we're seeing this tit for tat between blue and red states, not just Texas and California, as was discussed a few minutes ago. We also have Florida, there's Ohio, Missouri, and Indiana in the picture as well.
Can you go a bit more into detail about those other states that are doing similar moves?
Yeah, so in Ohio, a very important wrinkle is that this has to happen. You know, it's fairly complicated, but basically they're set up under their law to necessarily redistrict or, assess the composition of their map. And there could be a process whereby we have a more long-term map from Ohio, but most likely what's going to happen is we have another map that lasts several years. In Indiana, there has been some energy coming, I think, both from the Trump administration and then from the Indiana delegation in Congress, but there has also been some pushback. And in Missouri, the Governor Kehoe has said that this could happen, and a Republican official has mentioned a map that is apparently circulating in Washington. She said she hasn't seen it, but certainly looks like we're approaching fairly similar dynamics playing out in these other states ahead of the midterm elections.
And Nathan, I also wanted to talk to you about D.C. and Trump's efforts there. And earlier we reported that he's going to patrol the streets tonight with the National Guard.